beautiful souls, and welcome back to Energize Your Passion, the place where we light up your world with positivity, inspiration, and a dash of adventure. I'm your host, Sunshine, and today we're embarking on a journey that's as meaningful as it is exciting. It's all about Green Getaway, how to travel responsibly and reduce your footprint. Now, if you're anything like me, you love the thrill of exploring new places, soaking up the sights, sounds, and cultures that make our planet so wonderfully diverse. But here's the thing, our travel can sometimes take a toll on the very beauty we set out to enjoy. The good news, we can change that. So grab your favorite beverage, find a comfy spot, and let's dive into a conversation about how we can adventure responsibly while keeping our earth happy and healthy. Segment 1, the why behind sustainable travel. All right, let's start with the big question. Why does sustainable travel even matter? Why should we care about our footprint when we're out exploring? The truth is, travel can either be a force for good or a stain on the planet, and we get to choose which. At its heart, sustainable travel is about responsibility and recognizing our impact. Think about the natural beauty that inspires us to travel. Pristine beaches, lush forests, and vibrant cultural landmarks. These places don't exist in isolation. They're part of the interconnected ecosystems and communities that are fragile and irreplaceable. When we travel carelessly, we risk damaging the very things that make these destinations special. But when we travel with care and intention, we can help preserve and even enrich them. Let me share a story that really drives this home. Sarah from Seattle wrote to us about her trip to Bali. She was mesmerized by the beaches and rice terraces, but she couldn't ignore the plastic waste scattered around the shores. Instead of just feeling discouraged, she joined a local beach cleanup group and learned how to travel more sustainably. Her efforts didn't just make a difference for that one beach. Her story inspired others to take small actions that can create a ripple effect. Now let's talk about Michael from Denver. He's a passionate hiker who noticed his favorite trails were becoming overcrowded and littered. Instead of waiting for someone else to step in, he started organizing Leave No Trace workshops to educate others on protecting the environment. Michael's story shows us that sustainable travel isn't just about minimizing harm, it's about creating a positive impact and inspiring stewardship. These stories highlight a larger truth. Sustainable travel matters because it allows us to protect the world we love for future generations. Did you know that tourism accounts for around 8% of global greenhouse gas emissions? This includes everything from transportation to the energy used in hotels and restaurants. But much of this impact is preventable with small, mindful changes. Take water usage as an example. In many tourist spots, the demand from travelers can deplete local water supplies, creating shortages for residents. Choosing accommodations and activities that conserve water can make a big difference. The same goes for biodiversity. Tourism can either support conservation efforts or harm fragile ecosystems, depending on the choices we make. There's also the cultural impact to consider. Mass tourism can sometimes overwhelm local communities and erode their traditions. But sustainable travel celebrates and respects the cultures. Supporting local businesses, learning about traditions, and engaging authentically with residents help ensure that tourism uplifts rather than exploits. Ultimately, sustainable travel isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Each small, thoughtful choice we make, from using reusable items to supporting eco friendly initiatives, adds up to something meaningful. So, as we move forward, think of yourself as a planet ambassador. Every journey is an opportunity to inspire others and leave the world a little better than we found it. Let's carry that sense of purpose into our next segment, where we'll explore how to plan your green getaway. Segment 2, Planning Your Green Getaway. Now that we understand the why, let's talk about the how. Planning a sustainable trip starts way before you pack your bags. It's all about making mindful choices from the get-go. Take, for example, one of our listeners, Maya from Austin. She recently planned a trip to Costa Rica and chose eco-friendly accommodation that supported local communities. She stayed in a family-run eco lodge that powered itself with solar energy and sourced food from nearby farmers. Not only did Maya reduce her footprint, but she also made some incredible local connections that enriched her trip. What Maya did highlights an essential aspect of planning a green getaway: choosing accommodations that align with sustainable practices. Many eco-friendly lodges and hotels go beyond the basic of reducing energy use. They actively contribute to the well-being of their local environment and economy. These places often employ local staff, use renewable energy sources, and integrate sustainable building practices like using recycled materials or designing structures that blend harmoniously with the surroundings. When you stay in a place like that, you're not just enjoying the comforts of travel, you're supporting a system that prioritizes the health of the planet and its people. Another listener, Jordan from New York, shared how he started incorporating slow travel into his vacations. Instead of flying between cities, he took the train across Europe. Not only did it cut his carbon emission, but it also gave him time to soak in the scenery and meet fellow travelers. Jordan's story emphasizes the beauty of slowing down. Modern travel often feels like a race from one destination to the next, but slowing down allows you to experience the journey as much as the destination. Trains, for example, offer breathtaking views, fewer emissions per passenger, and a sense of relaxation that's hard to find at 35,000 feet in the air. Plus, it opens up opportunities to interact with locals and other travelers in a way that rush itineraries rarely allow. Let's talk about packing for a green getaway. This might sound simple, but it's one of the easiest ways to reduce your footprint before you even leave your house. Packing light isn't just a convenience, it's an act of sustainability. The heavier your luggage, the more fuel is required to transport it, whether you're driving, flying, or taking the train. Here's a little challenge for you next trip. Try a capsule wardrobe. Choose a few versatile, high quality pieces that you can mix and match throughout your journey. Not only does this cut down on weight, but it also simplifies your travel experience. You'll spend less time deciding what to wear and more time enjoying the adventure. Now, about flights. Sometimes they're unavoidable, especially for international travel. If you need to fly, choosing direct flights can make a significant difference. Layovers aren't just inconvenient, they often add to the overall fuel consumption of your trip because planes use the most fuel during takeoff and landing. By booking direct, you cut down on unnecessary emissions and get to your destination faster. Win win. Let's touch on tours. Supporting local and sustainable tours is one of the best ways to ensure your travel dollars go towards preserving the places you visit. These tours often focus on authentic experiences like learning about traditional crafts, exploring natural parks, and engaging with local history in a meaningful way. They're also more likely to be run by locals who understand the unique challenges and opportunities of their communities. For example, some sustainable tours invest a portion of their profits in conservation projects or community initiatives like reforestation or education programs. So when you sign up, you're not just enjoying memorable experiences, you're contributing to a cause that benefit both the destination and its people. And here's a fun bonus tip. Consider the souvenirs you bring home. Instead of mass-produced trinkets, look for locally made sustainable products, handmade jewelry, artisanal foods, or locally crafted textiles are not only unique and meaningful, but also support local artists and economies. It's a way to bring a piece of your destination home with you, knowing that your purchase made a positive impact. Lastly, I want to leave you with a question that can guide every decision you make while planning your trip. How can I leave the destination better than I found it? Whether it's by supporting local businesses, reducing waste, or simply being mindful of your presence, there are countless ways to make a positive impact. Planning a green getaway isn't about making drastic changes or giving up the joy of travel. It's about weaving sustainability into the fabric of your journey. So every choice reflects a commitment to protecting the place you love to explore. The truth is, a little extra effort in the planning phase can lead to a trip that's not only more rewarding for you, but also better for the planet. Segment 3, Traveling Responsibly on the Go. All right, friends. So you've planned your trip. Yay! That's a huge step in the right direction. Now let's talk about what happens once you're actually on the go. How do we stay mindful while we're out there exploring the world? Because here's the thing, responsible travel doesn't stop with planning. It's about those day-to-day choices that add up in big ways. One listener, Clara from Chicago, shared her favorite tip. Bring a reusable kit. She never leaves home without her collapsible water bottle, reusable utensils, and a compact tote bag for shopping. Clara told me about a time in Thailand when her kit helped her avoid single-use plastic during a street food tour. She used her reusable utensils instead of grabbing the plastic ones handed out at every stall. And her tote bag came in handy for carrying all the delicious treats she picked up. It's such a simple habit, but it makes a huge difference. Imagine if every traveler adopted this practice. It could reduce the staggering amount of plastic waste that ends up in landfills, waterways, and oceans. Clara's story is a great reminder that the little things matter. Reusable items are lightweight, easy to carry, and they empower you to say no thanks to unnecessary waste. It's a small shift that can ripple out to create lasting change. Then there's Marcus from Atlanta, who shared an awesome story about visiting a wildlife sanctuary in South Africa. Instead of just snapping photos and leaving, Marcus volunteered to help with habitat restoration efforts. He spent an afternoon planting native vegetation to help restore the area, and he told me it was the highlight of his trip. Knowing he gave back to the environment made the experience even more rewarding. What I love about Marcus's story is that it shows how travel can go beyond sightseeing by engaging in the places we visit in meaningful ways. We not only give back, but also deepen our own connection to the environment and the people who live there. These experiences often become the most memorable moments of a trip, ones you'll carry with you long after you return home. So, how can we all embrace this spirit of responsible travel? First, let's talk about staying on marked trails. This might seem like common sense, but it's a big one. Marked trails are there for one reason: to protect the fragile ecosystems from unnecessary damage. When we wander off paths, we risk trampling native plants, disturbing wildlife habitats, or contributing to erosion. So stick to the trails. Take in the beauty around you and let nature do its thing without interference. Next, support local businesses. This one's a win-win because it's great for the planet and the local economy. Seek out family-owned restaurants, local markets, and artisans who sell handcrafted goods. Not only does it reduce the environmental impact of importing goods, but it also fosters genuine connections with the community. Plus, let's be honest, food and souvenirs are always better when they come with a story. Being water wise is another crucial step, especially in areas where water is a precious resource. It's easy to forget how much water we use daily, from showers to washing dishes. If you're staying in a hotel, consider reusing towels and sheets instead of having them washed daily. Turn off the tap while brushing your teeth and limit long showers. In some parts of the world, access to clean water is a luxury, and as travelers, we have a responsibility to use it thoughtfully. And of course, there's the golden rule of responsible travel: leave no trace. This is more than just packing out what you pack in. It's about leaving the places you visit as beautiful as you found them, if not better. Carry a small trash bag for any waste you accumulate during the day. And if you see litter left by others, consider picking it up. Small acts like this can have a big impact, especially in areas with limited waste management systems. Let me add one more tip here. Respect wildlife. It's so tempting to get up close for that perfect photo or to feed animals, but this can disrupt their natural behavior and harm their health. Observe from a distance. Avoid touching or feeding them and choose wildlife experiences that prioritize conservation and animal welfare. Lastly, let's not forget the power of mindful interactions with others. Every destination has its own culture, customs, and way of life. Taking the time to learn a few basic phrases in the local language, asking before taking someone's photo, and showing gratitude for hospitality all go a long way in creating positive connections. Responsible travel isn't about sacrificing the joy of exploring, it's about enhancing it. When we travel mindfully, we open ourselves to richer, more meaningful experiences. We get to be a part of something bigger than ourselves, contributing to the preservation of the world's beauty for generations to come. So while you're out and about, remember to pause and ask yourself, how are my actions contributing to the story of this place? Am I leaving it better than I found it? Those little moments of reflection can turn any ordinary trip into an extraordinary one. Segment 4, Embracing Sustainable Travel as a Lifestyle. Now let's zoom out and think bigger. What if sustainable travel wasn't just something we did occasionally, but became a part of who we are? What if every trip, whether to the other side of the world or a park down the street, became an opportunity to live out our values? Take Gabrielle from Portland. She told me about how her family started biking to nearby destinations instead of driving. What began as a fun experiment on a sunny weekend quickly became a way of life. They discovered scenic trails, quirky local cafes, and small shops they would have never noticed while driving. Gabriella shared how these slower paced outings deepened her family's bond and gave them a new appreciation for their city's charm. Oh, the perks. They saved money on gas, reduced their emissions, and as Gabrielle put it, felt healthier and happier overall. Her story is a reminder that we don't always need to venture far to enjoy meaningful travel experiences. By rethinking how we explore familiar places, we can uncover hidden gems waiting that have been waiting right in our own backyards. Sustainable travel isn't just about jetting off to far-flung destinations. It's about embracing the mindset wherever we are. Or consider Dave from Toronto, who's on a mission to educate fellow travelers about offsetting their carbon footprints. He uses platforms like Gold Standard to invest in projects that balance out the environmental impact of his flights. Dave said something that stuck with me. It's not about being perfect. It's about making progress. Let me repeat that. It's not about being perfect. It's about making progress. He understands that sometimes flying is necessary, but instead of feeling guilty, he takes action, from funding renewable energy initiatives to supporting reforestation projects. Dave's efforts show that we can take responsibility for our choices without sacrificing the joy of travel. What I love about Dave's approach is how it combines practicality with hope. He's not trying to do everything at once. He's focusing on the steps he can take and encouraging others to do the same. Imagine if we all embrace his mindset, where small, consistent changes become part of our daily routines. Let's talk about the ripple effect of sustainable travel as a lifestyle. When you commit to traveling thoughtfully, people notice. Whether it's your friends, family, or even strangers you meet on your journey, your actions can inspire others to follow suit. Maybe it's as simple as carrying a reusable water bottle or sharing tips for eco-friendly accommodations. These seemingly small choices can spark big conversations and motivate others to get involved. For example, think about the power of social media. When you post a photo of a beautiful location with a caption about how you respected the environment or supported a local business, it plants a seed. You're showing your audience that travel can be both fulfilling and responsible. It's not about being preachy, it's about leading by example and sharing your passion in an authentic way. Sustainable travel as a lifestyle also means looking for opportunities to protect the planet in your everyday adventures. It might mean walking to the grocery store instead of driving, choosing public transport for your daily commute, or planning a staycation to reduce your travel footprints altogether. It could also mean supporting local tourism, visiting a nearby national park, staying in a family owned inn, or dining at a neighborhood restaurant. One thing to remember is that lifestyle isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Nobody gets it right 100% of the time, and that's okay. That's okay. What matters is the intention behind your actions and the willingness to learn and improve. Sustainable travel as a lifestyle can also be deeply rewarding. You start to see the world through a different lens, noticing the connections between your choices and the environment around you. You develop a deeper appreciation for nature, culture, and community. Travel becomes more than just an escape. It becomes a way to live out your values and contribute to something greater than yourself. And let's not forget the joy of connecting with like minded individuals along the way. When you embrace sustainability, you're more likely to meet people who share your passion for protecting the planet. Whether it's fellow volunteers at a cleanup event, local guides passionate about conservation, or other travelers swapping tips on eco friendly habits. These connections can enrich your journey in ways you never imagined. So, as you think about your next adventure, or even just your next walk around the block, ask yourself, how can I make this experience more meaningful? How can I travel in a way that reflects the kind of world I want to leave behind? Embracing sustainability, travel as a lifestyle isn't just about the big trips. It's about the choices we make every day. It's about weaving responsibility and mindfulness into the fabric of who we are so that protecting the planet becomes second nature. And when we do this, we're not only preserving the beauty of the world for future generations, we're also enriching our own lives in ways that are truly priceless. Segment 5, Takeaways and Call to Action. Before we wrap up, let's take a quick look back at what we've covered. In segment 1, we explored why sustainability travel matters. Sarah's experience in Bali and Michael's Leave No Trace workshop were powerful reminders of how travel can leave either a positive or negative mark on our planet. Their stories showed us that even small actions like joining a beach cleanup or educating your community can have a ripple effect outward to inspire change. Then in segment 2, we talked about the practical side of planning a green getaway. Maya's decision to stay at an Eagle Lodge in Costa Rica and Jordan's commitment to slow travel across Europe highlighted the importance of thoughtful choices, from selecting eco-friendly accommodations to reducing your carbon footprint by choosing direct flights or alternative transportation. We saw how these steps can lead to both a richer travel experience and a healthier planet. Segment 3 was all about staying mindful while traveling. Clara's reusable kit reminded us how easy it is to cut down on waste with simple preparations, while Marcus showed us the joy of giving back by volunteering at a wildlife sanctuary. These stories reminded us that it's not just about what we see on our travels, it's about how we interact with the environment and the people we encounter along the way. In segment 4, we zoomed out to explore how sustainable travel can become a way of life. Gabriella family adventures on bikes and Dave's effort to offset his carbon footprint with gold standard projects prove that sustainability isn't just about big trips. It's about the mindset and habits we carry into our daily lives. Now let's focus on where we go from here. My challenge to you is this. The next time you plan a trip, whether it's across the world or just across town, ask yourself, how can I make this journey kinder to the planet? Start with one or two small changes and let them build into bigger ones over time. Maybe it's packing lighter, supporting local businesses, or simply carrying a reusable water bottle. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. But don't stop there. Share your ideas with others. Maybe you'll inspire your friends to rethink their travel habits or encourage your family to plan a more ego-conscious vacation. And if you've got a sustainable travel story of your own, send it our way. We'll love to hear it and maybe even share it in a future episode. Now, if you love today's episode, here's how you can keep the positive energy flowing. Give us a 5-star rating or leave a review. This helps more people discover the podcast and join our community of conscious adventurers. Share this episode with a friend who loves to travel or someone who's just starting to explore the world. Together, we can create a ripple effect of kindness and sustainability. And don't forget to stay connected with us. Follow us on social media, send in your travel stories, or let us know what topics you'd like to hear next. We're all in this together, and your voice matters in building this community. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Remember, every journey is an opportunity to explore with purpose and tread lightly. Whether you're planning your next adventure or just taking a walk around the block, you have the power to make a difference. I'm Sunshine, reminding you to stay passionate, stay kind, and most importantly, keep shining. Until next time, friends, happy travels. This is Sunshine, signing off.